few years back, one of the boys recommended me a game.
No, there's no combat, no flashy mechanics, it's just dialogue.
I wasn't really convinced, but my curiosity had piqued. Trusting my friend's supposed better judgment, I pulled out my purse and I added it to my library. And if I hadn't, I would have never have played. Disco Elysium is an isometric role-playing game originally released for PC in 2019 by a publisher called Zaum. It was then given an expanded version in 2021, the Final Cut, which also debuted on Xbox, PlayStation and Switch. At first glance, Disco Elysium shouldn't work. It's slow, dialogue heavy, very strange. There's no grinded XP, just conversation, dialogue, blah blah blah. But the moment you wake up, half naked, hungover, staring at the ceiling fan that's pinched your tie, you realise this isn't just an RPG. You're witnessing a broken man being put on trial for every choice that he makes. In Disco Elysium, you play as... That's the thing, you don't really know. You wake up with no memory, no name, no purpose. You don't even know what you look like. The game simply refers to you as the detective. But everything else, your morals, political views, your personality is built through your choices and your choices alone. A large portion of the game's dialogue and decision making comes from the detective's schizophrenic voices. Each of your inner thoughts becomes a taunting voice, leading to some of the funniest lines of dialogue I have seen. Oh my god.
Yes, he's talking about you, you sinewy idiot. You too. No fucking way, man. I just want a drag of that sweet menthol Ziggy.
It's amazing though, because it isn't just dialogue, it's a debate between the best and worst parts of the detective. This system is where the game's genius lies. Throughout your journey, you will acquire points into varying skills with unique names, such as physical instrument and savoir-faire. And the best part is, each of those skills are portrayed by those weird voices in your head. It feels like you've constantly got people whispering in your ear until you realise those whispers are all you. They're all the detective. It's one of the most human portrayals of thought I've ever seen in a game. You get quips from not only the internal voices, but the characters you meet as well. We'll talk more about that later. The skills work through a levelling system, which involves going through dialogue options and furthering the investigation. You'll acquire the skill points and allocate them to whichever you fancy. If you're still finding your skills are too low when rolling skill checks, you can gain additional points by wearing funky pieces of attire. Coats, hats, rubber gloves. If your visual calculus is too low, you could just roleplay as Harry Potter and become the specky detective this city needs. Anyway, you, the detective, are sent to the town of Revachol to investigate a recent murder. However, you quickly realise that the murder is only a stepping stone to the game's true question. Who are you? Disco Elysium doesn't lead you on a straight path to the answer, with plenty of exploration and dialogue choices. The story unfolds in a manner you choose. Now, as a man with a brain the size of a mighty bean, this design choice seemed daunting at first. However, this freedom allows you to explore the dystopian post-war Revachol, a mysterious city reflecting the decay and fragmentation of the world around you. And Revachol is more than a backdrop. It's a city scarred by revolution, war and corruption, a place where ideals have vanished. The city's decline mirrors the inner turmoil of the detective. Now, before we go any further, I need to point out the incredible visuals seen throughout the game, from the character designs to the back alley streets. Every frame feels like an oil painting coming to life. Textured, imperfect, and this is all thanks to the lead art director, Alexander Rostov. Alexander helped draw life into Disco Elysium through expressionism, a style which can be seen in his own artwork. Look at that. Bloody marvellous. And what makes the art direction so powerful is how it feeds into the atmosphere. The world doesn't feel static, it feels fragile, like it could crumble with one bad decision. And it isn't just them beautiful visuals that give this feeling. The soundtrack, composed by British Sea Power, takes the same sense of loneliness and turns it into sound. The music swells and fades with your actions. It only makes sense that Disco Elysium would go on to win an award at the 2020 BAFTA Gaming Awards for its soundtrack. Come on. Anyway, once you've scrambled for your clothes, had a barocca, and headed downstairs, you're introduced to one of the best side characters in recent gaming, Kim Kitsuragi. He's a lieutenant from Precinct 57 assigned to accompany the detective through all of his trials and tribulations. Kim's character works well as a contrast to your own, an organised, straight-shooting officer who always goes by the book, while you're nursing an almighty hangover from the previous night's antics. Kim is patiently waiting in the hotel lobby for his new partner in crime. Kim's continuous judgment should make us dislike him. He won't hesitate to question your decision making.
Have you removed the dead body from the tree? So, the body is still in the tree, where it has been hanging for 7 days straight.
Yet, the more you interact with him, learning about his past, his theories, and his quiet dedication, the more you admire him. Kim's judgment isn't rooted in his own ego, it's a reminder of your own downfall. Making rash decisions in front of him may cause him to speak up. Kim might be your moral anchor, but he's far from the only memorable face in Revachol. As you progress into the story, you meet Everard Clare, the intimidating union boss who hides political manipulation behind a disarming smile. Everard is the personification of the phrase fat cat, a money-driven overseer who will only help when it benefits him. Through both bargaining and blackmail, he plans to get what he wants, and that stupid smile.
I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right?
Even smaller characters like Kuno, a foul-mouthed kid throwing rocks at a corpse. Kuno isn't just a comic relief character though. He's what happens when a generation grows up surrounded by crime, neglected by those around him. And we can't forget about my boy Measurehead, a character who will only let you pass if you literally learn to be racist. Oh, I'm not joking, I'm not making this up. You can either learn advanced race theory, which is essentially racism, or try and fight him.
The influence of the ham sandwich race.
The voice acting team has done an amazing job. The tone of each character adapts to every situation while still holding their core personality. Now, as much as I could yap about this all day, I don't want to say too much more on the game, as I believe playing through Disco Elysium blind is the best way to experience it. The main man we can thank for this game is Robert Kurvitz, an Estonian novelist and musician who was both the lead writer and designer. He and his colleagues should be given full credit for such a well thought out piece of entertainment. However, Robert and other senior employees were unlawfully ousted by shareholders, which soon led to legal battles which involved allegations of fraud and the ownership of the game. It seems to be commonplace in the gaming industry for large, greedy corporations to be constantly looming over the creators. And that's what struck me about this game. It feels like it was made by people fighting against something much bigger than themselves. The irony of the game's setting and portrayal of unions at war with businesses, playing Disco Elysium, that conflict, that struggle, bleeds through every frame. Anyway, I do highly recommend playing this game. If you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.